at it, it's a wetland restoration program. And in short, it's just another option, another tool in the toolbox. Thinking about wetland restoration and watershed health, as I think we all are here. More specifically, when I say wetland restoration, it's in fact a wetland mitigation program. We have some idea what mitigation is. Come on, all right, coming up now. Thank you. Wetland mitigation is maybe you've heard of carbon trading, where you're able to offset your carbon impacts. Wetland mitigation is the exact same thing, but for wetlands. And so state law says that if you receive a permit for wetland fill, certain times you have to offset those impacts. And one of the ways to do that is to purchase what we call credits, just a way to offset your wetland impacts. And then what I do from those credit sales, I pool all that money together across watersheds, and then we fund wetland restoration projects. And I apologize, I'm going to be very brief here. So I'm not going to be able to go into much detail. That's the very short gist of what wetland mitigation is. And today our program is relatively small. We funded 14 projects around the state, totaling about 850 acres. So now I'm just going to talk about what a project is and what we can fund. It is a wetland restoration program. Typically, that can include land purchase or just easement purchase if a landowner wants to keep ownership. So in that sense, it's very similar to like some of your farm bill programs, such as wetland reserve program. But we are able to pay for that land or easement acquisition. We're also able to fund project design and construction. I'll talk a little more about what that is in a second. What is different than some other more just restoration only programs is that wetland mitigation sites have to be maintained and monitored for 5 years. And what that means basically is treating invasive species and making sure that the site meets pretty strict hydrology and vegetation performance standards. And last, which I think is unique and I think a good thing, we do have funding to maintain these projects in perpetuity. We call that long-term management. And we set up an endowment with the Natural Resources Foundation, if you've heard of them here in Wisconsin. And so we will be able to maintain, take care of these sites in theory forever. One unique part of the program is that, or not unique, but requirement is that we do have to have a conservation easement be recorded on the property, again, in perpetuity. And that's a pretty, what I call standard conservation easement, that you cannot develop it forever. And just most of our sites are about 40 to 80 acres in size, some bigger, I guess none really smaller than that. And just so what we have available for funding currently in the Fox Watershed, here in my world, we call this the Upper Illinois watershed, just because of the other Fox River that goes into Green Bay is what we call our Fox watershed. But currently we do have about $3.3 million for a wetland restoration project. We are looking for a pretty big, what I consider a relatively big area, 150 acres. I'll get into some requirements here next, but that mainly has to be cropland. It has to be drained. It's like maybe marginal, very wet fields that just get a crop, say, every few years. And again, landowners can keep ownership and sell the easement if they like, or they can sell outright in fee simple also. And in the past, our program required public access, but that's since been, we had a law change, so public access is not required on our sites. And again, just more details about our site requirements. They must be ditched or tiled, hydric soils, and currently cropped. And that's because we're trying to replace or put wetlands back where they used to be, but currently aren't. And again, that's because it's mitigation. We're trying to offset those wetlands that have been filled. And also, we just can't have any encumbrances on the site that would prevent recording our easement. We have 2 sites in our the Fox Watershed here. Just want to give you kind of a search image of what our sites look like. This one's our Guanago site, owned by Waukesha County Land Conservancy. You can see on the left there, the linear lines, which are just drainage ditches. And on the right there, the orange little lines, I don't know if you can see those, but those are just ditch plugs that we put in to restore hydrology and re-wet the site. Here's just some pictures of the site. And then our second one, this is in northern Waukesha County, near Sussex. It's a different site, or it's that different in that the landowner kept ownership, and we just paid for the conservation easement. And again, just the yellow lines there show the tile, and just here's some more pictures of it. These are the aerials of the tile being broken. So with that, very fast, I apologize, but happy, just want to make sure you know it's out there. If you know of any potential sites, please let me know. Thank you very much.
Very much, Josh.